Oh yes, today's video is going to be interesting. And who doesn't love Selena Gomez? Isn't she just the sweetest thing ever? So guys, today's theme sprung itself upon me as usual. I'm also getting like the desire to constantly repeat to everyone that every single day, everything that comes your way is curated like the algorithm on your phone. We are inside of a quantum computer. How else could I put this? No, that's the best way. We are the Sims. We are inside of a video game. It's like we were outside and then we put on VR things in order to be inside these humans. And we've been in these since we like were birthed into the game. The thing is, you just can't leave until you die. You have to complete the game. So this means every movie you ever watched, every book you ever read, every person you ever came across, all of the things that you are drawn to are a part of your soul story from your past lives, things that are important for you in this life. Like, for instance, this is the strangest example. I don't know why this popped in my head. I never watched A Beautiful Mind before, but then I got like the vibe to watch it out of nowhere. And this was a couple years ago. But when I watched it, I was like, holy shit. I should not have been avoiding watching this because it helped me understand like everybody doesn't fit into this box that they say we should. Sometimes it's best to just go along with whatever your unique and your special is. And this is before I knew I had these gifts, but now that I'm in this, and sometimes I feel like I think about the movie A Beautiful Mind, and I'm like, you know what? You might not have it where it fits in everybody's boxes, and it might not make sense to everybody else, but at the end, you'll get your flowers. So I just really want to push that point today. Everything is helping you. This video is about level ups, right? I'm going to be telling you what you need to release or abstain from in order to get to the next level. I started off with the lose you to love me because it's like breakup season. Like everything turned to breakup season. Like even some of my couples got into breakup season. Like I'm going through breakup, but I'm like, that's a level up sometimes. Like a lot of the times. Because sometimes you stay in a relationship where neither one of you are growing anymore because you've gotten comfortable, but you're both like languishing, not thriving, unhappy, right? So when I went to do my little shuffle, and the song before that I was listening to was Tattooed Heart, Ariana Grande. So there are two things going on here. Like new wave of love coming in while the old one's going out, but I'm feeling pulled to focus on what needs to be released or what needs to be abstained from, like this ended up saying, right? Because the last couple of readings that I had come through were like love messages and stuff. I think y'all need to know what needs to be moved out the way, what needs to be released, what needs to be cleared to feel better. So I'm putting my little abstain card right here in the front of me so that we can focus. And I'm only doing 2 piles this time, like for real, legit, only 2 piles. So another tip I want to give out, I feel like I'm just like full of handy almanac type information lately for people. And I probably should just write these out in little blurbs. Because even a sentence is helpful sometimes. Even a sentence sometimes is a synchronicity. And I'm also passing this tip on to fellow content creators or those who want to be content creators. I write a lot because I'm kind of a writer. Like even when I was younger, I used to write stories and then the other kids would pass around my stories in class. Like, yo, this is some good shit. I stopped writing because my stepmother broke into my stuff one time and like critiqued it. And then after that, I didn't want to write again. And that was in middle school. So me being able to get back into it now, I had a lot to say. So you might see me write a whole 4-paragraph thing, which I'm going to be moving to the website, the blog. I can't fit it on this platform anymore or Facebook anymore. But y'all don't have to do that. If you have a sentence, an idea, like the one I was just saying was, you can call upon Sophia like Siri all the time. If you would think about us as a quantum computer again, being inside of it, Sophia is the app or the tutorial person that pops up to help. So when I have an issue, I'm like, hey, Sophia, can I get an answer on this? And then later on, it'll pop up somewhere. And this will work for everybody. I would love for y'all to try it and tell me your experiences. But Sophia is wisdom. It's at a particular place in your chart. That'll tell you where it plays out the best. In my chart, it's next to my Mercury. So it's like, but for other people, like for instance, if it's in the fifth house, you would get it through your children or your friends, or you'd be doing one of your hobbies and the idea would pop in because everybody is synchronized to a certain radio channel and where you most would need your virtual assistant. That's what I'll call it, your virtual assistants. Like you call upon Jesus when you need some help and some strength, also wisdom, but his is like the peace that comes from understanding that all things are handled in a flow, right? Because Sophia is attached to the pillar of severity. That's the one that's going to give you the actual answer, whether it's a good answer or not. Like Jesus is just going to give you the piece that allows you to be like, you know what? I don't even need the answer. I'm going to be cool. Sophia's going to be like, this is what happened. This is blah, 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 blah. So if you're like me and you need answers, call upon Sophie. All right. Can I get the photo that goes with what pile one needs to abstain for in order to clear this next round? Because this is like Mario, guys. If you pay attention to your life and you look back, you're like, hold on, there were season finales. Pile one. And can I get a card for what pile two needs to abstain from to level up? I guess there are season finales, there are levels, there are bosses at every level. End scenes, nemesis. We're in a game, guys. And if you really start thinking of it like that, you start to work with it. You can move pieces around. I just got like a vision of the airbenders, but it's like all the benders. Like you realize all your strength when you play around with it. Say, for instance, you say, hey, oh, I got a real life example. My daughter found the card that she wanted on Carvana yesterday. She was like, hey, remember I snapped 3 times. 3 times is a entry or a beginning thing. Once again, playing around with the matrix is the number 3. If you don't understand that, look into Nikola Tesla and the 369 thing he was working on. Now keep in mind, I don't even understand all that scientific mumbo jumbo, but I know when I snap 3 times or I do something in increments of 3, it starts a wave. When I am going in the wrong direction, I see the number 6, which means go back. When it's a completion or something is over, you start seeing 9s. When you are on a lucky streak, you see 7. When you're about to get some money, you see 8s. As a matter of fact, one time I got a card delivered to me and it was 8s. I made so much money with that card. These numbers count because we are in a quantum computer that runs by, I'm hearing right now, numbers like zeros and ones, binary code. Interesting. I'm rather tapped in today. And I think it's because I fully rested and I had some like organic coffee. It wasn't like real coffee. It's like some vegan stuff. I wish I had kept the container to show you guys, but I feel pretty lit. So binary code. Anyways, so my daughter put her little Carvana thing out there. She started working on her plan in her head. And then she was like, hey, can I see what this car looks like? And then she let it go. This morning, when we took her little sister to the bus stop, one of the parents pulled up with the car that she wanted. And she stopped and she said, I asked to see what the car looked like in person. So I didn't have to go to the lot. And it's here. I'm like, you go, girl. Flex your magic. What is it going to hurt for you to try? If anything, the worst thing that can happen is the same thing that's been happening anyway. Right? I was unable to sleep a couple of nights ago. Let me go ahead and start pulling up this other part I know I'm going to need. And like my guides were talking to me. They were teaching me something, right? Let me use this folder. They were teaching me something. And I'm like, guys, what is it that you're trying to teach me? This seems like some pretty top tier stuff, right? Pull my book up. So I hear neuroscience. I'm like, neuroscience, that sounds above my, my pedigree, right? And let me make sure I got the right thing back here before I pull it up. Where is it at, baby? And of course, I would pick the wrong thing. Let me just show y'all anyway, right? Neuroscience is like, because I had to Google it. I didn't know what the hell neuroscience was. That's another reason you know something comes from outside of you. If it's not a word you know or like a study, I know what to do. So when I looked up neuroscience, it's like the study of the way that the pathways in the brain work. Here we go. In your chart, is this the right one? I gotta check because there's so many. Here it goes. In your chart, if you have any planets or markers next to planets that are between the 15th and the 20th degree of Sagittarius, you are also somebody who is in the position to learn neuroscience. This is where my Uranus is. This connects to my moon and my 11th house. Something about what I am being taught about all this mind magic and stuff is going to be able to help people who have things like dementia or Alzheimer's, not exactly sure, right? But I was guided to start watching this show. And what is the name of the show? I'm going to say, ironically, because I just mentioned Nobel Physics Prize awarded to pioneering AI research by two scientists. I'm going to remember that in the future because that's a sign too. Wouldn't that be the gag of the century? Because I didn't even graduate high school because unfortunately I still haven't found the word to say. I was sexually assaulted and impregnated by a friend of the guy that I was dating at the time. So I ended up logging out of school. So it would be, oh, that just sort of put me in my feelings. It would be a great turn of events that me, somebody who was unable to finish even high school, ends up coming up with something that's amazing and out of this world, enough to be prized in some way, shape, or form when I didn't even get to finish like what was the original bare minimum thing. So I'm looking up that show. Aha. Don't judge me because I have to type it in as the guy that I know. I used to love the show Heroes. I still love the show Heroes, but there's a particular villain in it named Siler, right? Zachary Quinto, right? That's his name. That's the guy that's in the show that I am referring to at this moment that I was guided to watch this week. Like it kept popping up on my screen. Brilliant Minds. And I was just talking to you guys about A Beautiful Mind. So in this show, it's about a doctor who has a unique way that his stuff works, right? But because of that, he gives extra attention to the patients that everybody says are unsavable. Like his whole gag is a neurologist. He works in the psych ward and he helps people that have brain issues that other people can't get through. In my case, I believe that using telepathic stuff can help with somebody who doesn't want to talk or even a child that's been abused. There are so many ways that you can use the skill set. So in the case of anybody having planets between 15th and the 20th degree, universal medicine related to all medical professions, doctors, nurses, therapists, neurobiology, neurotechnology, capacity for global multidimensional understanding, enables us to detect and identify the cause of illnesses. Great healer and bearer of universal remedies leads to true healing, which touches all levels. I think that there is not only the option to look at a chart to see how somebody's health stuff plays out, because I've had a conversation with somebody and I was able to talk to her about the feminine illnesses that she had because I saw it in her chart and it turned out she had had breast cancer. Crazy, right? But I think that in the future, there could be a world where the doctor pulls up with that chart too. Or somebody can actually touch you and feel where your blockages are, or where a sickness is, or to better diagnose something. Because there's a book of illnesses and diagnoses, and they, that was ghetto diagnoses, right? But some of them don't cater to the patient or what they actually need. Some of those are spiritual ailments. Like, 211 came to me the other day and he said that like his friend had a job opening at a hospital and they just needed somebody to watch the elderly overnight. And guys, I was very tempted. It was only going to be 3 days a week. And I was like, dude, are they passing away? Like, are they sick or something? But either way, I thought about the joy that I can bring into like even a hospice or even being able to talk to somebody who's going through that or like give them answers. I was like, yo, this could be great. I even thought about like, yo, if I went to a psych ward, they'd probably fire me because I'd be like, yo, y'all are not crazy. You are gifted. They would definitely move me out of there because I'd be trying to get people off medication, but they don't need medication. They need to understand their gifts. Somebody who is schizophrenic is somebody with undiagnosed mediumship gifts. They just need to be able to hone it in so they can block out the attacks and stuff that are making them feel like, but just saying that there is a reason for everything. There is a connection, and some of the stuff that you have been put through is for a storyline that you haven't even come across yet. Don't box yourself into what you've seen around you your whole life. Your potential is limitless. And the point of this reading is to help you get through this little monkey stage, this eclipse energy for the next level up. So, pile 1, the Buddha prepares. This pile is for somebody who needs to meditate, drink a lot of water, get them squares about your circle. Anybody who's not in alignment or is working against what you feel intuitively needs to be cleared out or distanced from you. This is somebody who knows they're preparing for something great. They just needed to know how to get information. Get rid of everything that is blocking. If that's the message that you've already been receiving and this was just a confirmation for you, pile 1 is going to be your pile. Pile 2. This is listen to your guides. Listen to the magic all around you. If you have been ducking and dodging signs, but you've been seeing them there, this is your pile. This is your spirit guides trying to get your attention in every way, shape, or form. This is out in nature. This is through other people. This means you've been hearing the same message over and over again. You've been seeing it in your dreams. It's on your ass. If that is your situation, this is going to be pile 2 for you. So let's get started with pile 1. Y'all will be no more good if I started doing that. Some readers do, and I understand they're tapping in. They are syncing to the vibration of the message. I used to laugh at it though. There's so much spiritual stuff. Like if y'all had met me like 7 years ago, a completely different person. Like I used to make fun of my homegirl who did this job before me for doing meditations. I made fun of her for like the tarot cards. I was like, girl, you know you're going to hell, right? Like I was told wrong. If I could talk to her in real life, we're not cool. I was an asshole and she was an asshole. Totally different era. I'd say sorry. And thanks for your help in assisting me with a part of myself that was hidden in my shadow. Religious indoctrination had really did a number on me. So let's get started with the Heal Yourself reading cards. And I call this just to myself secretly my Blue Ivy deck because the girl on the front sort of looks like Blue Ivy to me. Am I tripping? She looks like Blue Ivy, but in white. So heal yourself. That is going to be probably the theme of the Buddha Prepares. This is you reinvigorating yourself. This is the soldier who has come home from war and is now patching up his wounds, getting prepared to reinsert themselves in society. So what does pile 1 need to know or at this time? Because the theme was abstaining. What does pile 1 need to do to get information? All magic requires sacrifice. So if you are wanting to do something amazing in your life, you're going to have to dedicate something that you really didn't want to give up. You're going to have to abstain from it. You're going to have to restrict yourself. I mean, you could make them other sacrifices, but it's way easier to say hard work is the sacrifice, or I'm not going to drink, or I'm not going to do A, B, C, and D. So pile 1. Interesting. Oh, bless your heart, pile 1. Okay. So in order to get information, you are going to be coming home to yourself. That is a part of the preparation. The first card that popped up was home, but sadness, right? And discover your true life purpose. What this gives me is taking some time to sit with yourself and allow your feelings to come up. You need to unclog your pipes. You need to draino yourself. So this means whatever you were doing to avoid your feelings or to keep busy, Time to sit down. You see how the energy is around the heart and the crown? Feel your feelings, process them through here, because there's a lot of sadness you have not been processing. And then as you start to release the pent up stuff, you're going to more understand your life purpose. That's the reward I'm getting here. You're going to understand why everything you went through created a certain type of human being. You have not been able to see that before now, because the sadness was just built up in there. You were like on go mode. You were not able to, for whatever reason, honor your own feelings. Now it's like you're going to be sat down, like everything else is moved out of the way or needs to be moved out of the way. It feels like this needs to be intentional from you. You have to make the decision to sit down and feel your feelings and say, I'm going to face what needs to clear out of here in me so that I can move forward with a clear conscience, a clear mind, clear vision, right? Because it feels like you might be journaling or making music or art or something during this time in order to deal with the heavy emotions that are coming through. But there's no escaping. It's like you have to feel them. Feel your way through the dark in order to get out of the tunnel, is what I'm sensing here. So next, going with the believe in your own magic deck, right? I'm going to give you a focal point, like a reward for going through this. What will be the reward on the other side for going through this valley? It feels absolutely like a valley phase. It is so much easier when you choose to sit in the dark than when you get your light turned off, if that makes sense. So, building your castle. I find it interesting. This first one is home, and then this is a castle over here being drawn. But it's like the home you had was the home you thought you were supposed to have, but it was never actually fully home to you. It always felt a little cold. Something was missing. That's not the case with the one coming up. You see how this one is dark and she has to like use a candle in order for it to be lit? This one over here, you're choosing your colors. You're choosing what's in it. You're choosing to make sure it's life going on there. We're going to ignore the fire at the top. That's not what you're meant to focus on at this time. Be your own first priority is at the bottom. But remember, this is the reward you get for taking this time to focus on your self-love and your self-care and to dig in what you want to contribute to this world. This feels like somebody who wants to find out what their legacy is. Like, what was I made for? If this person listened to the Billie Eilish song, What Was I Made For? They would not make it through it without crying. This person wants to sit down so they can stop going in circles. And once they do that, the clarity will come in. They might be amazed, just the same way that I was amazed by the neuroscience thing and got emotional because I didn't even understand my own potential. That's what's going to happen to this person who is sitting with themselves. You didn't realize how remarkable you were. You might have accomplished a lot, but it was on auto. There's something beautiful about your soul that you have been holding back for other people, and that's the next level. Coloring, bringing the color in your world. You've been living in a world of black and white. You did everything everybody thought you should do. It might even look really good on the outside, but inside, womp, womp, womp. Let me see if I can get the head right. Did I nail it? So, Power One, what should you focus on for self-care during this time? What are you focusing from at this time? So absolutely, you are abstaining from anybody but yourself. This is some hermit mode for a little bit. Unless it's other people who are in the same vibration, who are in the same place, clearing through their stuff. This card would apply to somebody who's like going through AA or rehab either. Only people who are on the same wavelength trying to do the same thing with you. Because everybody else will try to pull you away from home. Home. Right? So what does Power One need to focus on? Self-care during this process. Locking in to your intuition. This is a very big coming home to yourself energy. Again, another person sitting and focusing. Although this one is with crystals, So if I were to explain crystals, I would say crystals are like the mushrooms and the stars in the Mario game. They add an energetic layer to your aura. So I'm saving up now for emeralds for your heart. I would like a nice emerald necklace, right? Because I've been talking to y'all about like heart healing stuff. That's where I've given out a lot of energy. So that means in the future, when I go out and I am sprinkling my own little brand of joy on people, there will be this layer of emerald heart energy all the way around me. So I'm not naturally depleting what I have. Like I have backup power to help me, like, din, 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 din. That's what crystals are for, by the way. But in this case, this person probably needs to sit with some different crystals. Like tourmaline pulls out the guck. If you a gangster, sit with some black onyx and let your shadow come up. So sitting, feeling. This is really just a lot of alone time, a lot of time in contemplation. And if at any point during this you feel like, oh my goodness, I can't take the thinking no more, I can't take the crying, I can't take the, create something, draw something, sing something, dance. This is just all about moving the stagnant, oh, that made me crack all my stuff. Moving the stagnant feelings that have been stuck in your field for a while, that have been blocking you from seeing your purpose and maybe allowing you to be guided by others. So I was about to end this, but I got the ping that I need to pull from my dark mirror so that you would know what you're releasing during this phase of abstination. I don't know if that's a word, but all of the words are fake, so I'm going to keep making mine up. So what will this person be releasing for the upcoming level up? What will this person be releasing? Everything they thought they knew. This is like clear out your mind. The internal chaos. Because the internal chaos was tied to, there's a part of you that was destructive in your own life because you were hiding behind yourself. That's an interesting feeling. You know how in the movie Get Out, y'all just take my movie references, whatever. In the movie Get Out, the person that had all the talents and the skills will be pushed in the back of themselves for somebody who was less talented, who wanted what they wanted to be in the front. This person, this pile, pushed their real self to the back for the version that everybody else would have been more comfortable with to be in the front. That created a part in the background that's like, I will fuck all this up. Say mine anyway. And that's what's going to be released as you let go of the sadness through sitting in peace and seeking, not even seeking purpose. It seems like that's just going to pop into your head. You're going to slowly understand what you were made for. Fun, Paula, fun. So let me put this back so we can get started with pile 2. All right, pile 2. Once again, and I'm also holding this up for me so I can see it in the video and get the timestamp right. Because that matters. Me just saying that meant something. Right time. Okay. Your guides are telling you something is the right time, or they've been trying to tell you it's the right time. So it's like putting puzzles together. The theme is abstain. What are you holding back or moving away from in order for you to get to what you really want? Timing and being patient. That's what I would take from this. Listening to your guidance and being patient as it comes together. Like, what are you doing? What are you abstaining from? Acting impulsively, acting on your mental processes and your own thoughts instead of listening to what you're sensing. This is going to be a test of your intuition and your ability to follow signs, to follow something bigger than yourself. So let's get into this. Which deck did I use first last time, guys? Blue Ivy, right? I'm gonna use the same decks this time. So what is pile 2 going to be focusing on for this level up? What is pile 2 going to be focusing on for this level up? Becoming more in tune to your gifts. This is like letting go of, I don't want to say your human mind, but it's like relaxing all of this so you can get more in touch with your spirit, with your spiritual stuff. You're learning patience. You're abstaining from acting impulsively when you don't exactly know what's going on. But it's like your guides and stuff are giving you lots of signs. So you're going to have to learn how to recognize what's being said to you and to take it as legit. You're learning patience because like the payoff comes when you see that it all came to fruition. Damn, y'all, I might be in pile 2. You're learning to sit down and heal and pay attention to the sides. I love this. This is fabulous. My chitlins are about to walk in. Are they going to be loud? I don't know. We'll find out in a second. Patience, pay attention to the signs, and focus on your healing in the meantime. Can you listen to God more than yourself? Can you listen to source? Can you listen to the people that God has assigned to you on your journey more than you listen to your mind that's trying to rush? This is about you starting to honor time and understand that there is divine timing. And you can kick and you can scream and you can pout and you can be mad, but you still can't move it no faster. This is about patience and you learning trust in something bigger. This is you upgrading your wisdom. There's an owl back there. Because once you get through this and you pay attention to the signs and you follow and you focus on your healing, you do what's necessary during this time, and the big breakthrough comes through, you just learned a whole new skill set. So in the future, you're not going to worry about it. You're going to be like, oh, it'll come around. I saw a sign. The signs came through last time. Like something is going to happen so profound that your whole belief system will be changed going forward. You will be more in the spirit than you are in the 3D going forward. So let's do the believe in your own magic, right? What the reward is on the other end of this patience and learning to follow the signs, because that was pretty dead on. So what is the reward on the other side of this abstinence journey? What is the reward? Not gonna lie, both piles had great sex at the end, but I was like, we're not getting into that during the daytime. Like pile 1, that person who focused on their feelings and got to make their way through the heaviness and all the darkness and finally got themselves back to a raw state, they're going to start practicing things like tantra and sexual arts. They're going to go on a sexual journey that they didn't probably even think was important to them, but it's like a spiritual sexual journey. Whereas pile 2 over here is going to be learning more about their sexuality at the end of it. So after all this clears into patience and when stuff comes together. So there might be a connection between pile 1 and pile 2. So what was I asking? Oh, what is the reward at the end after this era for pile 2? Yeah, because it's 2 completely different sexual energy cards at the end. This could be a divine feminine and divine masculine pile, depending on how you want to look. But now I know I have to tell people in the description of this video, just go ahead and watch both piles. Whichever one you pick, there's messages that connect. This is very loud. The reward at the end of this is a throne. Ain't no way around it. Seated where you're supposed to be seated. Comfortable too. And then the world is in your hands. Because now you know how signs work. You know how to flex your magic. You've been playing around with your gifts and you realize you can manifest anything. You were patient for a big manifestation to come through. Like that was easy as hell. That's the reward at the other side of this for being patient and learning how to work your magic and focus on healing during the time when a big major breakthrough was being done on your behalf. Like it's so big that your guys are like, hey, pay attention. And every day you will see a sign. I don't usually guarantee anybody anything, but I guarantee that every day you will receive a sign to keep your hope afloat. If you're in POW 2, you will receive a message. I would recommend saving it, like screenshot, take a picture, just everything, because one day there's going to be a beautiful story at the end that you can use as your testimony for other people, is what I'm picking up here. So I think it's self-care first. I think last time, and then I did what you released. So what does POW 2 needs to focus on for self-care during this time? Building that wisdom. Once again, this is feeling like Bird Box. The words I wanted to say were like build your night vision. But what I was saying is somebody who's like, it's faith without sight. Like you're walking blind, but you're being led and you have to listen because your eyes aren't the tool from which you'll get the messages. Like you're gonna see them, but I'm just saying your intuition. Like for instance, your Instagram algorithm has a million things on it, right? But your intuition is gonna tell your eye to look over here, or it's gonna tell you which message was for you, and you can be like, but you'll learn to discern the more you play around with your gift. So Basil, I got jarred because the healing that you need to do, this is sex, and this is connect with your womb, right? But I'm feeling like this is, yes, look at me. I'm feeling like this is sex with yourself. Like building a relationship with what you like with sex. This has to do with healing around your sexual identity and the sexual experiences that you've had. That's probably also likely why this connect with fire is here, like a burning bowl ritual, like a release, like you dropping, writing down all the baggage that you're still holding, then dropping it in the fire, and then dancing around the fire, like, ah, ha, ha, I take back my power from that which was robbed from me, is what I'm feeling. Because remember, this is the power you're getting your throne back at the end. So probably tapping into that flow energy of your sexuality. What is your relationship with sex? Where did you lose your power during sex? Where did you give it away? Where would you like to take it back? What did you not recognize about your sex day? All of that stuff has to do with healing and your energetic flow. Because music was at the other end of this, dance and music. So you're moving your energy around also. But it's different than POW 1. POW 1 is like going through shadow work. This POW has already been through shadow work. They're doing healing work now, learning how to be happier, learning how to anticipate happy things in this energy. So now I'm going to find out what POW 2 is going to be releasing in order to come in alignment with all of this. What's the thorn that is going to be pulled out of your side? What's going to be released here? What's going to be released? Putting yourself aside, forgetting yourself, and being jealous of other people who are doing the things that you want to do. That could also have to do with sex. But that's not going to be an issue for anymore. It's like you're going to be finding fulfillment inside, so much so that you're really not going to even have time to look at anybody else. You're going to be so excited. Like I have guides that send me messages every day and give me the plug because they give you gifts too. And by gifts, I mean like if you say, hey, I need to make $100 doing this, then suddenly out of nowhere, somebody's like, hey, here's the $100 I owed you. Or you come across a frequency that says, tap into your instant money flow. Like they help you. They're your assistants. These are your astral assistants. And learning that is priceless. Imagine realizing you're inside the VR game when you were supposed to be sleeping, knowing that you just hacked your player and now you have access to everything. All you have to have in this case is patience. Learn the system. Focus on feeling strong within the system and healing the parts of you that work against you trusting your intuition and listening to your guides. You're learning patience. This is very warrior mode. In your own way, you are preparing like the Buddha, but you are preparing through light work. Light work is recognizing the beautiful things within yourself, whereas shadow work is recognizing the dark things within yourself that still require healing. So pile 1, shadow work. Pile 2, light work. So what should I do for my closing message? Should I just in general? What is the closing message for anybody who comes across this video? What message do they need to know about this journey? And what I'm feeling is all this is taking place during winter. You might even start to see the rewards from the work that you're putting in now around Christmas time, maybe even before Christmas. Like, this is not something that you're going to be grueling for years or anything like that. This is you put the work in now, and 30 days later, you start to see some change. What is the message? I started hearing Come Out and Play Billie Eilish in my head, but that, oh, well, technically, and I know it makes you nervous, but it's worth it to show them all the things you kept inside. Don't hide. This is the garden gate. This means that you got so comfortable inside one place that you didn't look outside of it. Like, you keep exploring the same place, but that place is now on fire. You have to move. You have to look out. You have to go somewhere else. So you're going to have to listen to your guides as you are being led somewhere else. And where's that place you're being led? I'm coming home. I'm coming home. To your community, to your soul tribe. Everybody who comes across this video is being led on a healing journey to end up with their soul tribe, their people, in the home they actually were meant to have. Everything before this was attached to the life and the character that you had while you were dormant. You up now, baby. Welcome. Have a great day, guys.